Hey everybody, welcome to a new lesson for Sunday school and happy church New Year's Eve. Did you know there was such a thing? We're at the end of one church year. And church year is a little bit funny. We're always a little bit ahead of the game, I like to think, and we're coming to the end of one year, even though the rest of the calendar has a whole other month to it of December. We're starting a new year next Sunday with the beginning of Advent. And today then is the last Sunday in the church year, so happy New Year's Eve. This Sunday we call Christ the King Sunday. And it's a way of remembering, like you do at the ending of things, about the end of our story of faith. That the good news is, in the end, God wins, and God's already won in Jesus, and God promises that in the end of our story, God's going to make a whole new creation, and all things will be put right. So we're going to hear about how Jesus reigns, and also about Jesus' promise in the meantime to show up in some unexpected places. Jesus shows up in the faces of people who are hurting and sick and lonely, and that Jesus' way of being king isn't to be a boss or a bully who tells other people what to do or threatens them, but Jesus' way of being king is in fact to love, to give his life away on the cross, and to show up helping those who are hurting and in the face of those who are hurting. It's a sort of a strange way to see Jesus as king, but man, what a difference it makes. You know, Jesus isn't one more bully in a world full of bullies, but Jesus is somebody who shows up in the faces of other people right around us. So while we're waiting for that great and glorious day when God makes all things new, in the meantime, Jesus shows up right in the people right around us. In fact, Jesus says, what we do to the least of these, the people that get treated as the least important, he says we've done it to him as well. So Happy New Year, everybody. And just like happens when we count down at the end of the New Year's Eve and turns out to be the start of a new year, the end of the church year means the beginning of a brand new adventure. Join us today for our Sunday school lesson. everybody. Ready for an art project today? Yeah, today in our video, here's an activity I want to invite you to do right where you are at home. And all you're going to need is a piece of paper, plain old blank piece of paper, and a marker. I happen to have this black Sharpie marker, but take whatever marker you happen to have around, and here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to draw a picture on one side of the piece of paper, okay? So I want to ask you, what does it look like when you feel hungry? Do you ever get hungry sometimes late in the afternoon before dinner and you're really wanting a snack? What does it look like? What does your face look like when you're somebody who's hungry? I'm going to quick draw a picture of me, hungry. Give myself some glasses there. That looks like my face when I'm hungry. Give myself some hair. That is definitely what I look like when I'm hungry. That looks like me. So here's me hungry. I'm even going to put hungry on top. Hungry. Now, if you haven't had the chance to draw a picture yet, hit the pause button. Draw a picture of yourself when you are hungry. What do you look like when you're hungry? Go ahead, hit the pause button. I'll wait. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to take your paper, turn it over, yep, same piece of paper, and now on the other side of the piece of paper, I'm going to ask you to draw a picture of what you think Jesus looks like. What do you think Jesus is like? We sometimes have pictures of him maybe in your picture Bible or in artwork, sometimes on the cover of our church bulletins or in other places you might see pictures of what we think Jesus looked like. We have some guesses maybe. A lot of times people draw him as somebody with sort of a big bushy beard and probably a robe because they didn't dress with the kind of clothes like sweaters or jeans like we might be wearing today. But draw a picture of what you think Jesus looked like. And I'm going to do the same right here. Again, same piece of paper will work just fine. Okay, going to draw my picture of Jesus here. I'm going to make him waving. Hi, sort of friendly sort of Jesus. I'm going to give him some sandals because I had not invented high-top tennis shoes yet. There's Jesus. Now, here's the final step. On one side of your paper, you've got a picture of you when you're hungry. On the other side of your paper, you've got a picture of what you think Jesus might look like. Now for the last step. Take your picture, looking at the side that's got you on it, and hold it up to the light. Let's see what happens when we hold it up to the light. Look who you can see inside. There's Jesus in me, even when I'm hungry, even when I have that kind of crabby face. What do you see? Hold it up to the light, and you can see the drawing from the other side shining through. That means you can see Jesus in you. Jesus is in you, even when you were a hungry person. I bet the same would be true no matter what else you drew yourself as. That's important because today in the Bible, Jesus tells his followers that the way other people and we take care of people who are hungry or thirsty or in prison or sick or in need of clothes or foreigners from other places and other countries, the way we take care of other people, Jesus says it's like how we take care of him. In fact, Jesus says one day, Jesus is going to gather all peoples together and say, when you took care of a hungry person, you were taking care of me. When you took care of a thirsty person and gave them something to drink, you were taking care of me. When you visited somebody who needed to be visited, when you showed love to somebody else, you were doing it to me. Even if you did it for somebody who was treated like the least or the lost or the left behind, the non-important people, Jesus says when you do something kind for the least of these, you're doing it for me. Now, that's true for other people. When we take care of other people, when we say collect food for the local food bank, we're helping people, and Jesus says it's like doing it for him. And also when I'm the one who's in need, it's like Jesus is in me too. Jesus isn't just up there somewhere, sitting up on a throne. Jesus says he's present in all of us. And when we do something for somebody else, Jesus says it's like we're doing it for him. I mean, I can't knock on Jesus' front door and say, here, I baked you a pie. I can't knock on Jesus' front door and give him something. But Jesus says when I take care of my neighbor, when I show kindness toward other people around me, it's like we're doing it for him. And Jesus says he's present in all of us. So anybody you meet today, anybody you meet ever, is somebody made in the image of God. And Jesus says when we are kind to other people, when we show love to other people, it's like doing it for him. There's probably going to be days where it's hard to be nice to other people because maybe they're being stinkers or maybe they're people you don't know. And Jesus says, go ahead and take the risk anyway. Show kindness to other people. Even if you'll never get recognized for it or nobody will give you a high five for it or extra credit or a gold star, do it anyway. And on the days when we're feeling pretty low and unimportant, don't forget, Jesus says he's present in you and in me too. That's pretty cool news. This is gonna be good.
Hey, think I smell something. Think I smell a permanent marker. Bet that Pastor Steve's up to something. Hey, Pastor Steve, what are you doing? I smell your marker out again.
I am great. Hey, Al. I was just working on a project here. I'm just writing. Hang on, let me finish this word. Great. Ha! See? My crown I'm making for myself to tell everybody I am great. Because I think I am. So I made a crown.
You what now? You made a paper crown that says I am great because you want people to know that you think you are great? Oh, let me come take a look at this. Let's take a look at this here. What you been up to? Oh my goodness. You actually made a paper crown that says I am great. Really? Really, Pastor Steve? Really? You thought this was necessary?
Well, yeah, Al, I'm pretty sure I need this, because you know what I noticed? I noticed that a lot of people don't recognize how great I am. I have to wait in line at the grocery store when I'm in a rush and I have places to go. And sometimes people don't listen to what I have to say. And sometimes people don't recognize how very special and important I am. So I think I'm going to do them the favor of making a crown for me that says I am great, so they'll know. See, maybe the problem is they don't know that I'm great, so making the crown, gonna wear it.
I understand how wearing a crown works. I understand that you would put words on it so people could read it. That's not but the part that confuses me, Pastor Steve. The thing that confuses me is why you would think you'd need to make a crown like this in the first place. Why really you think you're all that important? I mean, after all, let's think about Jesus here for a minute.
Ha! You think I need to remember something about Jesus? Well, I'll have you know something, Mr. Bearded Monkey Puppet Al. I know you usually think that you're the one who reminds me things I've forgotten about Jesus, but today the tables have turned, my friend, because I have made this crown, this one right here, because I happen to know we are celebrating Christ the King Sunday, and kings wear crowns, to announce to everybody that they are so great, and if I'm a follower of Jesus the King, then I'm pretty sure I should have a crown too to tell everybody I am great. And maybe I'll get a little more respect in line at the grocery store. What do you think about that, Al?
Really, Pastor Steve? I mean, still, I seriously think you are completely missing the point of how Jesus is king. Because even though it is correct that Jesus is king, and we sometimes celebrate Christ the King and celebrate that Jesus reigns and rules over all creation, this here kind of crown totally misses the point. Sorry to say.
You think I still don't get it? Maybe you just can't visualize it. Maybe the problem is you don't understand. It's not supposed to say flat. No, that must be where the confusion is. No, I can understand why you'd be confused. A flat crown, no, that would be silly. But this, look at this world. Look at my greatness. Because I'm a follower of Jesus, therefore I get to tell everybody I am so great. Right?
Okay, Pastor Steve, in Christian love, I'm going to do my best to contain my laughter, but I do have to tell you, even wearing the crown on your head, or maybe especially once you put it on your head like that, no, you are totally missing the point, Pastor Steve. You see, the problem is, even though yet Jesus is king, did Jesus have to go around wearing a paper golden crown telling people he was great?
What do you mean? Did Jesus have to go around telling people he was king? He had a crown. I know there's sort of they put a crown on him. A crown of thorns.
That's right, a crown of thorns. The only time in the Bible when Jesus has a crown, when he's walking and talking around in his ministry on earth, when he has the crown they put on him made of thorns when he dies on the cross. In other words, Jesus doesn't need to go around advertising and telling people, hey, look at me, I'm so great, I'm the king. He doesn't have to. Jesus just sort of has this authority. People know that he's from God because of what he can do and how he speaks and how he loves and the truth that he has to tell. He doesn't have to go around tooting his own horn, and there's never a time that Jesus goes and makes himself a paper crown to tell people that he's the king.
Oh, Al, you're right. You're right. I felt so bad about sometimes people not listening to me, or sometimes I think I'm so important. I thought it was so important to make me a crown, and I was here making Jesus out to be someone who is needy enough to need a crown too, but you're right. Jesus never needs a crown like this. Jesus never had to go tell anybody he was great. He just spoke and acted with God's power, and that's how he showed them that he really was the real thing, that he really came from God. And I blew it. I don't need one of these crowns. What was I thinking?
Well, look, Pastor Steve, I get it. We all have times like that where we feel bad or wish that people would get out of our way at the grocery store or whatever. Sometimes I wish a pastor I knew would just listen to me instead of fighting with me sometimes. But anyway, even though sometimes we get frustrated, look, if Jesus is our example of what it looks like to be king, then we know we don't need to go around wearing paper crowns like that to tell people we're important. All we got to do is show Jesus loved other people, and they'll see the real power of God through us because they'll see Jesus loving us. That's what it's really all been about. So I'm sorry, Pastor Steve, that sometimes you have to wait in long lines at the grocery store when you wish everybody else would just make room for you. And I'm sorry when people don't listen to you. But look, if we're going to follow Jesus, we're going to have to show his kind of love and probably not have to cut out paper crowns to tell people we're great. If we really are great, you don't need to tell anybody. They'll just know it.
You're right, Al. You're right. You know, I'm done with this. I'm not going to play this game anymore. I'm done making paper crowns for myself. I bet it did look pretty silly.
Yeah, look, Pastor Steve, I mean, I'm your friend and everything, but yeah, if I'm going to be honest, it took every ounce of self-restraint I had not to completely spit out laughter right in your face. So, let's just be done with the paper crown, and instead let's just show the love of Jesus, all right? That's how we show God's real power. That's how we show other people that Jesus really is king.
You're right, Al. I don't know what I'd do without you. Tell you what, would you help me take this to the trash can and pitch this? I think I'm done pretending I'm so great and I need to wear a crown about it. Would you come with me? Let's go.
Like we've been doing all throughout this fall, we're going to end our Sunday school time together praying the words that Jesus taught us, words we call the Lord's Prayer. I'm going to invite you to pray along with me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
The Lord bless